Everybody, welcome to my channel, Becoming Your Own VIP, Mind, Body, and Soul. You might hear my grandbaby in the background, but with part 2 of perspective, I also wanted to bring up the definition of attitude. And attitude obviously can be the emotional state, but it also can be your attitude towards something. So the definition, I'm looking at the computer real quick, is a settled way of thinking or feeling about someone or something, typically one that is reflected in a person's behavior. Okay, so with perspectives, again, you can go from your perspective and point of view about anything, but it also comes down to your attitude towards something. If you're not feeling something, you're not going to go out and do it. That's just your attitude towards it. And I think that the biggest thing when it comes to your mind, body, and spirit, although it begins in your mind, it does impact your body and your spirit. It's a whole package deal, because sometimes it's your spirit that's guiding you. Sometimes it's God talking to you through something to pursue a dream, a mission, or your purpose. It can be, like I said, things that are triggering you. Things you might be fearful to try, but maybe that is what's going to actually take you to your next step in life. And because of the fact we're so settled in one way, we're not seeing the whole picture. And, you know, I found that God talks to us in many ways, and that is through people, that is through situations, that is through our life, nature, every aspect you can think of. God is talking to you, even through music, movies, everything. If it speaks to your soul, if something gets ignited within you, there's a reason. So if it's in a negative emotional state, something's triggering you, then that's because something needs to be healed. If it is triggering you in a inspired aha moment, that means that's something to look into. And so you really start becoming aware of your body in ways that you really haven't done. And that does come down to, again, healing and meditating and clearing your mind and removing the toxins and the negative things within your life, so that you can start hearing what needs to be heard within yourself. Because it's those quiet whispers, those intuitive thoughts that we have, those aha moments that we get. And it's always there. You get an energy vibe off of people. You get a little insight, but like, dang, I knew I should have did that, but I didn't. Or I'm glad I did that. Something told me I should have, and look at me now. These things. So when you look at perspectives and your opportunities that are presented to you, what are you choosing to listen to? Are you choosing to be negative with your perspective? Or are you choosing to be positive and open with your perspective? Because again, if you're negative, it means you're closed, and you're closing yourself off from any type of possibility of something that really could be good for you. And trust and believe, that's something we all face. It's something I face to this day. That is something we are dealing with constantly. But I can say I'm blessed enough to say that I'm more aware, because yes, I've taken away, you know, smoking and drinking, and I've taken away, a lot of the distractions that I've had, but that doesn't mean I'm not still distracted. I might get on YouTube and scroll through the videos, or whatever life has for you when it comes to family or whatever. It can happen, right? Or your day-to-day just busy life. That happens. But that's where you take that time to set aside to find out what it is that you're truly feeling within your body, what your body truly needs, what your soul truly needs, and listen to your mind so you can find out what your mind is saying, so you can learn how to discount that or to heal that. Because there's so much things that goes on in your mind. So with that being said, perspective. So if someone said something about therapy, you know, some people can have a mindset with, why do I need therapy? I don't need a therapist. But at the same time, there is a benefit towards that, right? If you can't sit through those emotions that are deep within you, then a therapist might be able to unlock that, compared to where your family or friends might co-sign on that or enable you. Or they may just trigger you because they're your family and you just are being sensitive to what they have to say. where the therapist will quietly listen and kind of give little nudges to kind of guide you along to those opportunities of insight. Cognitive therapy, hypnosis. If someone says, why don't we go, go get hypnotized, they can do something. Well, you could have a positive or a negative on that. There's obviously that fear that comes behind it. And fear is another perspective. Fear can be something that holds you back, or fear can be the momentum that pushes you forward. Perspectives. Someone you don't get along with might actually have a lot of insight to what you are needing. They might rub you the wrong way, but have you ever really looked deeply as to why they rub you the wrong way? I was watching this morning on this episode on YouTube, a famous author. He was talking about how, if I walk in and I have a certain energy about myself and that other person picks up on that energy, then they themselves are going to treat me offstandish because I already have this energy about me, because they may not know I'm not comfortable in this situation, but my energy is saying that I'm uncomfortable. And this person who's picking up on my energy may approach me as if, something's not right, because they feel your energy. And so then you're like, what the heck? Why are they acting like that? Well, because they feel your energy. And, you're not giving grace to how you looking at yourself and the situation in order to be like, okay, all right, so maybe it's me. And nobody really wants to take accountability for those situations, right? Where they want to say, okay, it's me. But a lot of the things that we experience in life does have to do with you. You have to look in the mirror a lot of the times and see what you are saying, what you are doing, how you are behaving. Because again, when you're in a situation with 2 or more people in the room, you're part of the equation. It still comes down to still saying you, looking at you and what you're giving off, your vibration, your body, and all the things, your words, your facial expressions, and how they're picking up. Because again, they have their own sensitivities, their own perspectives, and we don't stop to look at that. And that's why they always, some of the books and everything that I've been researching lately are talking about how relationships are actually the keys to healing, because there's someone we love, there's someone we're intimate with, not sexually intimate all the time. Sometimes it's just intimate with being vulnerable with our emotions and the things we experience or have experienced, right? So those relationships that trigger us are our best healers in life. And we don't see that as that because we're still wounded and defensive, and we're going through things we've not handled yet. We don't even know how to handle that. I remember having arguments with people I love and being so defensive and reactionary because the emotions were so chaotic in my heart, my mind, my body. The energy was just all over the place that I wouldn't even be able to understand why I felt that way. But yet I'm trying to explain it so they can understand it. How are they going to understand it if I can't even understand it? And then again, they have their own stuff to deal with that they're trying to understand their feelings in those situations. So perspectives. If you were to talk about absolutely any topic, again, you have your perspective and their perspective, your attitude about it. And the biggest thing is, and this is something that I still am working on, is being out of our comfort zone. Being outside of our comfort zone is changing those perspectives. It is saying, maybe there is a different way I should look at this or handle this situation. And that's really uncomfortable when you are so used to being a certain way. Okay. And that's all right. It is so uncomfortable. It's like getting up to speak publicly if you're not someone who's done that before, right? If you're someone who's, really laid back and chill and just kind of doesn't participate like that, and then all of a sudden you're thrown in that environment, or maybe you're not a person, like for me, wasn't really that big around crowds and stuff, and now all of a sudden in these situations with all these people around, energies around, that you don't understand what's happening, your own comfort levels. And again, if you don't understand, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to say? How are you supposed to handle it if you don't know? And that's why I'm saying your past self, you do have to forgive, because you only knew how far you had reached at that level. You only knew. And life experiences are to stretch you beyond the threshold you had capped at. And again, that means growth. And again, if you're happy in your comfort zone, you're not growing. And so what I've been dealing with emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually, again, you're becoming your own VIP, is to get out of your comfort zone and stretching, getting outside of the normal friend patterns, getting outside, and whether it's dating or not dating, if you're someone who's used to jumping into relationships after relationship after relationships, or if friendships, and not checking yourself as to seeing why that friendship broke up and how come you're having a trail of all these situations, work, jobs. When you see a cycle in your life, that's the time to stop and look at the perspective that it's showing you. And look at your attitude towards it. What is closing you, blocking you, and placing resistance within you that's stopping any type of further growth within you? That's something I had to learn. And that is due to wanting the cycles to stop. Okay, so you have to be ready for that to stop. If you're not ready, I could tell you all day, but you're not going to be ready until you open your eyes, you open your heart, and say, I'm ready to see things differently, whether that's with your partnership, whether it's with whatever situation that you encounter in life. When something means enough to you and you finally say, I don't want to lose that, that's when you might be finally pushed to see the light and say, now how can I do better? And change and shift my perspective. And it's not easy to shift your perspective, because again, it's a comfort level, and it's very uncomfortable to stretch yourself to that next level. It wasn't easy for me to all of a sudden dip into some of the things I've done so far when it comes to spirituality. It wasn't easy. That was not something that was huge in my background. It's something I pursued a little bit and had some interest, but it wasn't something I was like, yeah, God was always part of my heart, but going to church or reading the Bible or listening to sermons, even gospel music, it just wasn't my cup of tea. And all these things that came into my life when I was finally ready, it had an aha moment. So yes, when you're here on this channel, there will be, again, mind, body, and spirit conversations. Spirituality is a very big key to the pieces of us that are missing. And due to your perspective, if you're closed to that, you don't even realize that until you are ready. So, I mean, like, here's an ad. Okay. But when you think about opportunities where people want to talk to you and share things with you, and you say no, you don't know who this person is and what they can actually help teach you and show you and elevate you to. I remember as a teenager, someone wanted to teach me to count money. I could have been prideful and I said no. I could have said no, but I said yes. And that opportunity turned into, one, me knowing how to count money so that I don't ever over give somebody more change than necessary. But then also, it was an opportunity to help others, so that when I noticed someone gave me the wrong change, instead of like, oh, sometimes I did back in the day. But after that moment, it was like, no, honey, you just gave me too much. Let me show you how. And then I was able to transform that to be of service and keep that blessing moving forward. That's what's called paying it forward, right? So there's many opportunities that actually help you in the future to help other people, because really, truly, we're supposed to be here to be of service to one another. And when you are selfish and you're only looking for only me, then that's what you get is you. And sometimes that means that's you on your own island, and your own island can trap you. But when you give, you are sending out love, vibrations, and a legacy you didn't even realize that that one thing did for somebody. You have no idea what a kind act did for that person. You don't have any idea what giving that person a donation of any type of charity would have done for them. So you just don't know what anything that could have been done had blessed somebody. And so your perspectives. When it comes to the foods, when it comes to exercising, your perspective on getting up and getting out there and doing what you need to do for you to love yourself, but you'll go break your back for somebody else. That's a perspective. You know, when are you going to put yourself first? When are you going to take yourself as a priority? Because without you, how can you go further? You know, like I told you in my other story, my body had shut down once. Well, I've had a couple issues with my body, but I've already said my testimony. But the bottom line is there are blessings that we have, and that is our temple, our body, and to take care of ourselves. Because when that opportunity is in jeopardy and you finally realize the things you haven't done, the things that you want to do, and you recognize that you could have stopped doing any of those habits that you were doing prior, or taking care of yourself in a manner that would have allowed you to keep going and not even had to learn that lesson, you know, the hindsight of what you learned. Perspectives, your attitude towards things. So again, there's a positive and a negative. A negative is set in stone, hardcore, no, I'm not even willing to budge. And there are going to be times when that is cool to have as a hardcore no, not necessarily negative. You can still be assertive and kind and say no and set your boundaries when you know that this is something that is against your soul. But say, for instance, you have a character that is just closed off to experiencing new things, and you're not expanding your character. You're fine with the status quo of who you are and what you are. Again, you're setting your limits. You have no idea what else you can become and be and do if you just open yourself to even more. Because we only have these chances each day to live. And you know, right now I've been taking the opportunity to learn and grow. My goodness, I've been reading so many books, audiobooks, learning, growing, and applying these things within my life for improvement so that I can live a fuller life. Because like I said, I was ready to change. So part of that change is educating yourself. And if you don't even want to open a book and all you're worried about is reality TV or numbing yourself out with whatever way you want to, or hanging around the same crew of people that talk about the same thing each and every single day, or just straight up negative every single day, or maybe not every day, but they got something negative to say about someone at least once a day. You know, think about how that is impacting you, how that is taken into yourself, into your mind, into your programming. And when are you going to say, I'm done, I'm cool, I really do want love in my life, I really do want inspiration, I really do want positivity, I really do want to see what else is out there. And again, if that's all you know, that's all you're settling for, that's okay, that's your choice. But I'm hoping that this video helps open yourself to understanding that there's so much more to life than the status quo of what we've been introduced to. You know, for all the people that are so closed off to being outside because of the bugs, we're nature. You know, part of our healing is outside under the sun, breathing in the fresh air, feeling the ground underneath our feet. You are closing yourself off. And it's about an introduction into living in ways that yes, are different when it comes to the people who are so used to going out and partying and all this other stuff. That's cool. But when you think about how we numb ourselves out just to find some type of peace, go outside, sit in a quiet room, meditate. You find peace within you, because inside our mind and outside is so chaotic, and we're so used to a chaotic world. And the chaos within us, again, we don't even realize that that's not something that should be That's not the way it is, that we actually do have control over it to the point where I can bring solitude into my life, peace of mind into my life. And it's about your attitude. It's about your perspective. Your dreams, you not pursuing those dreams because you're worried about what other people are going to think. Sure, you know, that's another perspective. You know, sometimes those people's input is valuable, but sometimes it's not. Especially if they're not doing anything to help improve their lives. You at least got to take a chance. And if you fail, you fail. But you will learn something through researching it, through taking action, and say, at least I did it. I've got something else I added to my resume. I did it. You know, okay, I failed here, but I made this connection. And now this connection is contacting me to do something else. You have no idea what, if you open your mind, what one thing will allow you to learn, to do, and to achieve. Those aha moments come from absolutely anywhere, and it presents itself anywhere. And my grandma, she always talked about, you never know who you're talking to. You know, every single one of us is an angel. And God might really truly be speaking to you through somebody, you know, but each and every single one of us is an angel. And we are out there to be able to be of service to somebody. And yes, use your discernment. You know, I'm not saying go out and do everything for everybody, but there's a power within us, and there's a responsibility towards ourselves and to others. And that is something that does need to be taken in seriously, into deep thought, and how good you can feel after you do that good deed. So I'm going to end the video here. I just wanted to make sure I let you understand perspectives, and absolutely everything you say, do, think, there is perspectives. Choose the one that is positive, enlightening, and something that speaks to your soul. And, you know, if it's not going to do you any harm whatsoever, be open. Be open. You know, extending out a generous hand to somebody, be open. Taking advantage of an opportunity that's presented itself that really is not to manipulate or anything like that. It truly was a situation where you are receiving an opportunity for something. Be open. And be open to you. We hide ourselves so much. Be open. And embrace the experiences. And really try to get out that comfort zone, no matter how uncomfortable it feels. Oh my gosh, it feels so uncomfortable. I mean, even dealing with your healing and your emotions and stuff like that, there's a serious discomfort. It's a discomfort. And gosh, if it's one of those things that bring up tears or something, woo, who wants to deal with that, right? But that's why we push it away for so long, right? That's why we say no to things, right? Fear. You can use it to hold you back, or you can use it to propel you forward. And you can use a situation to be angry and explode on somebody and shut everything down. Or you can pause, reflect, think how you can respond with kindness and love. Perspectives, how your attitude is towards something, a job. You're blessed with a job that's paying your bills. That is taking care of your family, that allows you to be here, feed you, support you, take care of your needs until you find something better. And that is a blessing, because you don't know what skill set this job is presenting you with, not just from this job, but from whoever you may encounter that you help out might open you up to something. You don't know what each opportunity is going to bless you with. Everything is a blessing, because you didn't have to have it. You could be in a worse situation, and we are to look at all these things with gratitude and utilize this experience to become a better person. Perspectives, attitudes. Look at each word that you say. Is the words I'm saying uplifting, or is it tearing someone down? Is it empowering them or disempowering them? Because words have power, and karma speaks loudly. So it comes back to you at some point, in some way, by someone or something. So really be mindful of how you act, how you treat people, how you treat yourself. Because how you treat yourself also comes right back to you. It's mirrored all over you, on your home, how you raise your children, your mindset, how you keep yourself, how you keep your home, how you speak to people. It shows what you are dealing with inside. Just saying. Consider these things. Have a blessed night. Take care. Please like, subscribe, and share. Comment if you have any other questions. And you have a good night. Thank you.